Little bit of departure from this channel, but not so much, okay? Because over here we like to talk about overall health, overall well-being, and of course, on top of that, okay, is financial health. It's important, like it or not, okay? And it's more than just getting a good job. It's acquiring that money and knowing what to do with it. And like the headline says, like it or not, you need a good credit score. Yep. If you want to do literally anything with money, if you want to do more than just cash the paycheck, spend the paycheck, maybe save a little bit at the end of the month, and then hopefully you live long enough to capitalize on those funds for retirement, you're going to have to know how to leverage the power of other people's money. And how do you get access to that? Well, with a good credit score. In a perfect world, there would be no credit scores. Yeah, exactly. And in a perfect world, communism would work. But how many millions and hundreds of millions of bodies do you need in order to prove that that has been garbage? And while I do not believe that credit is necessarily evil, who would ever presuppose that? In a perfect world of mine, Mary Hunt. Yeah? I'd like to hear your husband Mike's opinion of you. Like it or not, lots of things are now predicated on one's credit score. Hopefully it just, it keeps to the financial space and it doesn't become a social credit score. But that's something for the main channel. Take automobile insurance premiums, for example. Want the best rates, you'll need a good credit score. Yes, because then you have a back history of just good financial decisions and that you can say that, hey, I'm a good candidate for just the best rates that are out there. It gives you more negotiating capabilities. Want to make sure that out of all of the applicants, you get the really great department. You must assume that your potential landlord is going to look at your credit history. Yeah, they always ask you if they can pull the credit score. That's why. To determine if you will be a reliable, on-time paying tenant. Are you vying for a job with a great employer? I've never worked at a job that's needed to require a credit score, but I could see it coming. One's credit report is considered a character reference. Look at my credit file and you'll find a good idea of how I manage my life. You'll see evidence of how seriously I take my commitments, a little about my personal integrity, at least in that situation, right? The most highly regarded and the one most lenders and others who look at credit scores is the FICO score. That's in the United States. Up here in Canada, it's a little bit different, but same idea, okay? Each of the big credit bureaus has its branded version of FICO. How these scores are determined based on the collective information in one's credit file remains proprietary to the Fair Isaacs Corporation, creator of the FICO score. We do know, however, that FICO looks at what it calls utilization rate. Your utilization rate is your credit limit compared to how much of that available credit you're using at any given time, expressed as a percentage. So, if you want to have a credit card with a $1,000 credit limit and a balance of $100 owing, you have utilized 10% of your credit. You figure utilization rate can be dividing the balance owing on the account by the limit of the card, and then multiplying that figure by 100. So $100 over 1,000. Yes, basic percentage math. Okay, I think we've all been through the 5th grade. You can figure your aggregate utilization rate by adding together all of your credit balances. Okay, and then dividing it over the amount of credit you have available to you, and you can figure it all out. The best utilization percentage to have is 0%, because then you have no credit card debt. Okay, which is always a good thing, and you're not paying interest. Yes, exactly. But since that's not realistic for everyone, and again, you're going to have to figure out how to leverage debt at one point or another, but we'll just simplify that for this instance. The best percentage is the lowest percentage you can achieve. In fact, according to FICO, consumers who have an exceptional credit score above 800, have an average utilization percentage of 4%. There are reports all over the internet that insist 30 to 50% are the target percentage in order to achieve great scores. Those are false reports. They're false. In fact, nothing terrific happens at either 30 or 50%. Certainly 30% is better than 50, but not as good as 20, but it should be somewhere around 4 according to this report, which I can attest. If you use your available credit and then you pay it off, that pings and that tracks, and that continual usage and cycle of using the credit that's available to you and then immediately paying it off, that reflects positively on your overall credit score. And now it's easier to track your credit score than ever, okay? Basically, for every credit card that's out there, you have immediate access to your online credit score, and it no longer pings you if you're just trying to figure out what it is online, okay? It's just readily available. You can go through a bunch of different sites that are out there. Okay, My Free Credit Score. It's not a scam. It's a legitimate product, okay? it runs the back end of a lot of those credit card checks as well, so don't worry about it. It's all good. It's on the up and up. This is not financial advice. This is just my first-hand recanting of what's going on. Think of utilizations as you would golf. The lower the score, the better. Generally, to achieve the best score, your utilization rates should be under 30, with the goal of getting it down as low as possible. Yeah, exactly. But if you're going to be playing 18 holes of golf, the best you could ever do, well, theoretically 18, but let's be honest, there's a par for a reason. Pay down your credit cards as much as you can. Yes, because an outstanding balance will have the biggest effect, okay? Well, missing payments consistently has the biggest effect on your credit score, but an outstanding balance, that weighs heavy on your overall score, okay? Keeping it for a longer amount of time, that also weighs on the score as well. Nothing good about having a lot of credit card debt. It's expensive debt that wreaks havoc on your FICO score. Yes, because it's also highly volatile debt, okay? It's not guaranteed by anything. That's why the interest rates on credit cards are in the 20s. You can negotiate them down if you have, of course, a better credit score, and you can get access to better credit cards that are out there that are under 20, but for the most part, it's what, 19.5? I got to take a look at some of mine. I think I'm a long-time holder of an American Express, and somewhere around 18 at this point. But there's more learned people on this topic. All I know is that having a good credit score is important to just overall wellness for a human being. All I can tell you is that I got pretty obsessive when it comes to my credit score, just trying to see how high I could get it. And with very little trying, okay, with the same method of using a credit card and then immediately paying it off over and over again. Like whenever I go buy groceries, okay, I'd use my card to make those purchases. And then when I'm in the parking lot or just later that afternoon or even the next day, I'd pay the balance as soon as it registers on the card and move on with my day. And it didn't take that long in order for me to get over 800, okay? I'm not going to tell you my exact credit card score, mostly because I could pull it up right now, but I'm not going to dox myself. Just know, it's not that hard, as long as you're responsible. As long as you're on time with your payments, to get high 700s into the 800s, and then you get access to so many great things in life, and then you can start to learn more about the financial world. You should still be doing that, but rather, instead of learning about it, accessing the greater financial world. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.